you know, you can do what you want.
Ooh.
Okay, that's
Doesn't look
nice.
like
That's the
a
jump I
much, but
wanted.
yeah.
I'm down for this just because like if you don't pick your mid hero, then the best ones for the game are just gonna get banned out, and it's gonna be like kind of sad.
I have cast Army Genius a few times, and it feels like they're one of the few teams. Their mid player is he's actually a Void Spirit player. Most mids you'd be like, yeah, they're a Storm player, Ember player. Rarely, other than you brought up Quinn, CCNC is like one of the few Void Spirit players as mid laners go. Azura is another actually, so he's like a level 25 Master Tier Void Spirit. He loves the hero.
How would you describe his Void Spirit if you had to give it some adjectives?
Explosive.
Excellent. Just make sure you're not going to say the B word.
What's the B word?
Boring.
Boring. Oh no.
Boring.
No,
I do boring.
It is the more boring of the spirits,
Stop
but
saying that.
it's good. He's a guy I think because the way they play around, like they pick a Grimstroke to basically make this Void Spirit more exciting. Like they don't want to have they want Azura to pop off. Like they play around him a lot, so they're gonna pick heroes that make Void Spirit bad, which is exactly what Grimstroke does. Unfortunately, Kunkka's a nice pick. Like I think the answer to Void Spirit, from what I've seen, is being picking these tanky cores because Void Spirit has damage issues more so to me than the other Spirit heroes. So if you pick like 3 tanky strength cores, suddenly Void Spirit's like looking around like, well, who do I gank? Who do I kill? Like
True.
I don't have enough damage, and there's no item you can get as Void Spirit to give you damage really.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard for sure, and like you do have that extra punch on top from Grimstroke, which is nice in that regard. I just I need to see more damage. Pugna's gonna be primarily focusing on like healing his cores usually. That's how you see. Obviously, he can do like a lot of magic bursts with like Decrepify plus Void Spirit combo Grim. They could probably burst anyone, I think, on UDV at least until BKBs. So I'm kind of confident in that.
But I feel like UDV just set up the draft well. Like they picked the Kunkka in a slot where you see these enemy cores that are gonna have issues killing the Kunkka. They instantly ban the Timbersaw because they're going for this like tanky core lineup, this like you can't kill us kind of lineup, and they're basically asking Army Geniuses like, are you going to have enough damage to kill him? Tiny at some point later on, like, you know, Tiny much prefers playing into melee cores than range cores. So that's, I guess, the one thing Army Geniuses do have going.
What is a last pick that's going to tie out their draft though on Army Geniuses?
They have objective taking. They have magic damage. They don't have like a lot of team fight. They have the Grimstroke ult, but nothing that really synergizes with it. Oh yeah, that's another thing I really like. When you're Grimstroke Pugna, you like put the silence on him and then decrep him, and he cannot hit the ghost off.
Ah, yep.
Love that one. It's one of such a fun combo.
What a great little hit.
Fantastic.
I guess even get like a Doom, like Grimstroke Doom kind of combo. They banned Earth Spirit. They're thinking Pugna could be core, I guess. Pugna could theoretically offlane. Womi can. Yeah, actually, yeah. This is Womi also plays Pugna 3 position, so that's something I forgot Army Geniuses do.
That's hype. We have not seen an offlane Pugna yet.
Yeah.
We have not seen a core Pugna.
Yeah, I don't think
at all.
Yeah. Yeah. They do some kind of funky stuff every now and then. He's I mean, it's talking about his Pangolier and being a respect ban. Pugna's his other hero. He's like.
It's just a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, Norman can take the Tiny too.
Yeah, it could be Pugna Tiny as an offlane duo and like Grim safe lane, pick up a carry here. Like, if you feel like, honestly, their draft could go a lot of different directions.
What do you think is best? To pick up a carry here? To pick up an offlaner?
I don't know. Norman plays a good 4-position Tiny.
Okay.
And they're going carry. They're doing 4 Tiny, 3 Pugna. I'm not at all surprised to see them do the 3 Pugna because this is, again, another one of Womi's best heroes. He's like Master Tier on this Pugna as well.
And you said that the comfort is PA as well?
That's on UDV.
Oh, what's it? Sorry, I thought you said that about Army Geniuses.
They like Tiny and PA, so Army Geniuses is just like, yo, do you mind if we just like have these? Good luck.
That's even better then. You're putting UDV on heroes that they're really not super confident in.
They could, they like Ember Spirit on UDV. Like their mid and carry plays it. There's always a chance they could just do some like, we're gonna fight really hard, or they could just pick a carry that like tries to scale into PA. TB is still in the pool, right?
Yeah.
Do you still like it though?
I think it's a little scary into like Grim and Pugna.
True. Yeah. There's a lot. My bold prediction is they pick Troll Warlord.
Ugh. I mean, they could because they play it, but ugh.
Yeah.
Alright, you were wrong. We were wrong.
TA last pick of the draft. There you go. That got deep.
Yeah, I can't believe that she actually made it to the end, getting picked up there. But I'm going to bring in our casters, Aries and Danog. Danog, it feels like it's been so long since we last saw you. How are you going? And also give me some of your thoughts about this draft.
I like UDV's draft quite a bit. I saw as soon as that came out, I'm like, Pugner, let's go. From the very start. It always felt like how they were going to go about it. I do like UDV's draft, though. Maybe I'm just trying to get a little bit clever.
I appreciate your input, Danog, but we have a little bit of audio issues, so instead I'm going to ask Aries to just re-say everything you said and sound extremely smart.
No. We don't need to worry anything about what Danog was saying. He's got no input at all to our conversation. He was pretty much saying Army Genius is going to win. They're going to stomp UDV. There's no chance. Nothing they can do at all. He is shaking his head. He's nodding. Yes, yes. That's
that
correct.
sounds like something Danog would say.
I could imagine it.
Exactly. Pretty much he called the Templar Assassin. He's a big fan. They were, thinking about the flexibility on Army Geniuses. I don't know how this Numb and Tiny is going to work. Of course, like Parker said, he's one of the better position for Tinies, but can they pull it off?
Do you guys think they are going to be able to pull it off here on the couch?
Most likely.
Yeah, so you want to say Army Geniuses for game 1?
Norman owned with his Tiny last season, and I believe that he's still going to own with it this season.
Yeah, I think UDV got everything they wanted, so I don't think it's like a solid outdraft. I think Army Genius as a team is just look better, like they're competing and just doing well in Div 2 other than the Talon and the RSG losses. So I'd give them a slight edge here in Game 1, even though some of their things with their draft are not your orthodox pick.
Because it's my favorite prediction to do while Aries is with us. Time of this game to the second, as Aries likes. To the second.
36 minutes and 4 seconds.
Okay.
I will go 41 and 12.
I'm going to go with 46 and 40. And I don't know why, I just am. But Aries and Danog, you guys can give us your time predictions as we head into game 1 between Army Geniuses and UDV.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nat. Yeah, I don't know. This I like that we've kind of swapped over doing the seconds along with it. Again, it just makes you feel so much better when you're able to guess that correctly. But for me, we've been getting some later games so far. I might go, I don't know, this one I feel like it could end a little bit early. I'm going to go like 33 minutes, 27, something like that. And I believe we're going to be kicking this one off. UDV up against Army Genius. Of course, this is a very important series for UDV. They are on the edge of potentially being relegated out of Division 2. And if they can take this series, then there will be an opportunity for them to force tiebreakers against TNC and Motivate. So we'll see how that one's able to battle out, just so everyone is aware of some of the issues. Danog is just good old Danog issues, always mics going astray, but that one will be sorted out shortly. As for me, I also agree with what Parker said, just in regards to, he feels like UDV got exactly what they wanted. Like, this is a very UDV draft. They like their tanky heroes. They still go back into the Conquer pretty heavily. And they have this Templar Assassin, which, Ken's not the highest level in the TA. But I believe, maybe it just doesn't have Dota Plus, hence that's why. But, I'm a big fan of what UDV have. I think their team fight and how they can just multiple ways to be able to initiate fights. But that's kind of the same for Radiant. You've got pretty strong lanes. You've got down bottom. It's going to be the Phantom Assassin played for DB, more than likely paired with the Grimstroke as well, which is a really, really strong combo.
All right. We'll see if I'm good, but only time will tell. We were kind of interested in seeing if they did go for this Pugner paired with a Grimstroke, right? Just to have that Decrep plus Phantom's Embrace combination. You can't do anything about it as the person being targeted, but I mean, let's see if for Tiny. It's been quite a while since we've seen it. It's only really been Narman to do so. Yeah, we have seen it play the 4 Tiny a couple times so far through Division 2. It's had some good games, some bad games. It's been hit or miss, but
how do they look to play this game, this lane, I should say, in particular, with Wombi on the Pugna and Narman on the Tiny? Can they kind of lane head-to-head versus UDV, or do they need to play many the pools?
Honestly, I know Wombi plays it a fair amount, but I'm just so used to seeing Pugna in the support role these days. You do play it kind of differently, where you obviously need to go for CS, do a lot of these sorts of trades, because Pugna's actually quite good at doing a lot of this little harass. You've got some good attack range, but you're not going to be able to out-trade a TA in lane, especially with a Tiny. Incredibly vulnerable against a TA. Slow attack speed, no armor, means that TA is going to get the better end of any kind of trade that you're going for. So Narman's really just here to leech some levels and try and keep the Shadow Demon away as much as possible.
Well, could we see maybe any rotations from Narman to mid in particular, or even TPing bot to help out with a +1?
It was kind of what Parker was talking about on the panel, right? Like, you don't really kill a Kunkka super early on, especially if he goes for these braces build that are so much more common. So maybe rotate mid to help with the runes, but beyond that, I don't think he's actually going to be doing too much help in terms of a kill assist.
Yeah, because this is something that you mentioned, I think, off screen, where it was the Conquer into the Void Spirit matchup. It's very difficult for Azura to play this, as we just see he's doing pretty well in last hits, but his health is continuing to be chunked down. And if you do have Narman that can just at least guarantee one rune so he can keep afloat, shove out the lane, maybe play the small camp, then, and that's where you can see Azura start to shine.
Yeah, I mean, JG, he's a good Kunkka player, so he just needs to make sure that he's timing a lot of his Tidebringers outside of the Resonant Pulse buff periods, just because Void Spirit, very low armor. We often see when Tiny mid was a thing, when Magnus mid was a thing, those were the heroes that were picked to be direct counters to the Void Spirit, just because of how much physical harassment that you can put out against a Void. But Kunkka, he certainly is a little bit of the flavor of the month, but he's just as good at it.
And what are your thoughts on the last pick, Phantom Assassin, where Army Geniuses look to show their flexibility through the entirety of the draft, pushing the Tine into the support and going for the DB Phantom Assassin? Is it a game that he can excel in?
I like DB Phantom Assassin. My issue was that I felt like they were lacking a little bit of that damage. I know they had a Tiny, of course, but I feel like that wasn't a... If you're going to go ahead and pick something like this TA, or I think the Terrorblade was still in the pool, it is kind of an issue for the Tiny. So now they've given them, multiple options. We didn't even know if it might have been a Tiny offlane, for example, because it's something that Army Geniuses have done in the past too. So it's just trying to keep the flex in there, and you have to remember that Army Geniuses didn't have last pick overall. It was the TA that was the last pick, so they just wanted to kind of keep them guessing a little bit.
Well, we do see that DB's having a very good lane against Rapido. Top of the last hits, and this is exactly what you'd hope for a Phantom Assassin. Looks like he's going to be rushing into the Battle Fury as well. Already one of the components completed in the Ring of Health.
Well, one of the things that they were talking about...
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
There's a fire position. You can't walk up into a Mars Snapfire lane, right? You're gonna die. So he just made sure to go to the Radiant Secret Shop to purchase his Ring of Health and make the long trek there, but this Observer Ward hasn't been able to snipe any couriers up until that point, and they gave a lot of value. The other thing that they were talking about on the panel as they were in that, look at what happens when you go up into the lane. DB, he's taken down to about a quarter HP.
He actually might try and turn this around. Yeah, jumps forward, dodging the cookie, but now DB has overplayed his hand as Rapido and Lucifer, all they need are the right clicks to secure first blood, and that is given over to Lucifer, but Rapido's still falling low. Gets his spirit the last second. The extra stats from the Bracer along with the Soul Rings enough to keep Rapido alive. Does Lucifer? He's got 2-point Scatter Blast. Lucifer might get a second kill. Okay, UDV, you were just mentioning that. You can't really step up in this lane versus the Mars and the Snapfire, and Army Geniuses attempt that, and they will be penalized.
And Rapido did this thing that I absolutely love whenever you're looking to go for ganks or there's any kind of intense trade happening in lane. You eat a tango before the fight, and it's something little, but he only ended up living on about 10 HP, and it's just about all of that little bit of health regen that he had throughout that fight that enabled him to come out on top. So really nicely done. Of course, UDV, we mentioned they have a lot more to play for, right? And a win here means nothing. for Army Geniuses. They are guaranteed third regardless. And unfortunately for them, you know, we heard from them in the past that it was their countrymen in Apes Esports that they wanted to get a lot of these wins for, but unfortunately Apes already gone, so...
By the top outpost, Azura and Namen, they're actually going to be able to run down Tiki, but they've used all their stuns, and Tiki reads this perfectly. A quick TP out and he'll be okay.
Nicely done, and takes the bounty rune as well, making sure that you weren't going to get a little bit more
Bottom lane,
aggressive.
look at DB. Phantom Strikes on cooldown, Rapido slams the shield. A second death now onto DB's Phantom Assassin, and UDB are off to a flying start.
Now, I
don't
want to call back.
Don't do
I
it.
mean, we heard in the little pre-game interview that Paris was saying, you know what, their side lanes, particularly the off lane, not the strongest. We're not all that worried. Well, I'm sorry, but this is the lane that you've lost 3 of the kills into, so maybe want to reconsider your thoughts about that?
Oh no, and PA's not a hero that can really catch up too easy at all, and you've got level 6 on Rapido. That's such an early 6 timing. This is pretty much a guaranteed another kill now.
For sure. Oh man, looking a little rough for Army Geniuses. Having a look over at the net worth, they're well ahead.
Back to the top
in every single
outpost.
lane.
Army Geniuses, they will at least find their first kill of the game, and it looks like Tiki's gonna drop through the Netherward. So nicely done. And this was the information they got prior when Tiki TP'd out with the...
Sorry, hold on.
What's going on?
How much do you see at the
Bottom lane, we're
7.5
not
minute
done
mark?
just yet. Rapido's hit with the arena, and TV's dead again. 3 deaths on the board. Azura's gonna try and TP down, but they might just stand their ground. JG's in the neighborhood. All the ultimate charges expended. He's got the Dissimulate down to the west. They'll miss the spear, so Azura should be able to get out of dodge. Gonna try and play around with the remnant,
Should
but
he?
still JG's continuing the hunt. And it'll be the creeps with the finishing blow, and they're not done. What is this? They've got Water Kisses. It's 8 minutes in. A Snapfire with level 6 as UDV. Tips galore and kills are all on the board.
And oh man, they're just getting real aggressive down here. This is how you want to play a winning lane. You know, it's... PA Gripstroke is able to get a lot done, but not against this lineup. You know, Snapfire Mars is one of the scarier ones that you could look to come up into. And what I was saying at the 7.5 minute mark, how often do you see a top lane completely abandoned at that stage? You know, the TA was forced back to the jungle, which is fine. She can jungle. But Pugner looked to join. He wasn't looking to put any kind of pressure on the lane, even though he has the 4 points in the Nether Blast. He was just like, you know what? You're going to go away from the lane. The tower's going to push itself, and it's fine to have a lot of experience lost there. We're just going to take your jungle away. We're going to start farming it up so that you have nothing to be able to go to.
What is the play now for Army Geniuses? Because this is a very early deficit. Is it eyes on Wami because he's the top net worth hero for Radiant to bring them back in this game?
You would have to assume so, right? But the thing is, he, even though as the offlaner, he kind of needs to be playing as a backline. I mean, Pugner, if you play it as a core, doesn't change the fact that you are still a squishy boy. So it does mean that he needs to try and rally around the rest of his team. Maybe some of these early-ish item timings that Azura's going for, but it's going to be quite some time until he gets anything. I mean, he's going for the Boots of Travel, just trying to delay the game, push out these waves, and create some space with the PA to be able to come back into things.
I don't know what's going on, but if we take a look at TA's Courier, she has a magic wand, but also one in her inventory. So I don't know if Ken's done a bit of a boo-boo and bought 2 wands, as JG just gets another kill.
I've done it occasionally. You know, it's something that you just think, oh, I don't have a wand, but then, you know, next minute you actually do.
Dude, what? Yeah, it just shows that even some of the pro players can make mistakes as well. The easy ones like that.
I saw, in terms of like buying things and selling them, I actually saw a really interesting one. Let's just wait and see if there's any kind of aggression in the mid lane. Doesn't look like it for now. In the NA DPC, they had Jerax on his Enchantress, already a very fast hero. She bought the Boots of Speed to be able to start things off, and then they smoked, and he just used that extra movement speed to be able to place Observer Wards much faster than you would expect. then he was able to get back to the secret shop and sell the boots before they
Down
actually
bottom,
had
Rapido.
that up-press cooldown.
They're stalking the Mars, the burst with the decrypt. Wow, alright, Wami. With the pairing of Azura showing that they have plenty of damage to be able to kill off the Mars.
And this 4-man roaming quadrant, I guess you could call it, is a lot of magic damage that you have to deal with. If you catch the TA out, is going to be a little bit of an issue, right? Because typically you're always going to be able to at least get the refraction off prior to any kind of blink dagger coming out from the Tiny. It's going to be a little bit of an issue to try and get on top of it. But, I mean, even with the refraction, as long as you've got the Inkswell on top of Azura, it's a pretty good way to quickly clear off a lot of those charges. So I think that's just what we'll be looking to see. A lot of big rotations coming through from the entire team.
The game that UDV continuing to get whatever they want out of the map is top lane, JG. And I've run into the Phantom Assassin, who does have some reinforcements. But a mistime combo from JG means that DB will just slip out of his grasp.
I like Wami's build as well. You know, it just feels like it's... Oh.
Almond's going to be in trouble too. So just a measly old Tiny, but I said the kill's still important because Tiny's a lot of their playmaking, their bursts as well. So if you slow down the blink timing, that can just really help out UDV.
And speaking of the blink, it's what Wami's going for as well. So it just allows you... I mentioned before how squishy a Pugna can be, even in this core role, right? But it allows you to connect to a successful gank attempt much more readily and start to get in a lot of that burst.
I don't know, Danog. I'm very worried if UDV get triple BKB that there will be no damage on Army Geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, they've had such a dominant early game that PA's not going to be farmed enough to be able to contest that. She might have her second item, perhaps, at that sort of time, but still a lot to have to deal with. And they're going for a smoke, trying to target this PA just before Mars gets the blink dagger, so might be able to react quickly enough. They drop down, they see exactly where this is all happening.
Oh no, DB.
None the wiser.
What? Okay, they miss everything. Now you can land some of the abilities. Nama's in position to get out. And they don't have many more kisses left, but it doesn't matter. Tiki still is able to take him over thanks to the purge. And oh, that would have been disastrous if they didn't get that kill.
Trailing upwards is what that gank was by UDV. It's just like whiff spell after whiff spell, but they're so far ahead that it doesn't matter at this stage. Still able to continuously put the pressure onto DB. 0-4 now, halfway towards that Battle Fury, and I mean, it's going to be quite some time until he's been able to fully pick it up.
Reese is stuck in a very awkward spot. Gonna continue to drop the combos though. So Reese gets the D ward. Meanwhile, it's still a game where Army Genius is just trying to make as much space as possible for the Phantom Assassin.
That is optimistic, Wami.
Yeah.
That is very optimistic.
I'm just looking at Wami trying to suck down Ken, and all of a sudden Lucifer just wraps around, and now Wami is in no man's land. Although, nice decrypt TP, but that just sets up for an even better Scatterblast.
That is very ambitious to be able to go for that when you don't have a tower for your teammates to rejoin. I know it's important to put some pressure onto Ken, but you can't do it solo as a Pugna.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This is another thing they were mentioning in the pre-game content we had, is that Army Geniuses felt like if they could snowball the laning phase, then the early game should be theirs, and from there it should be easy pickings, and it's well and truly been the opposite.
The opposite of that, yeah. Certainly, I'm sure this isn't how they were expecting the lanes to turn out. It does feel like Dota more and more these days, though, is about those strong lanes and being able to convert that. So we'll see. I mean, Army Geniuses, they're sitting in third for a reason. They've shown some really good performances after... It was looking a little rough at the very beginning. They had some losses against Talon and RSG. But since then, they've been looking confident. Armand, he's getting ganked.
That he is. Rapido flies over. It's like, yeah, you know, I didn't help out too much, but I'm more than happy just to kill secure on the Tiny, and they're instantly trying to set up top as well. They're scouting out the Phantom Assassin, so it's going to be Lucifer and Rapido on the hunt.
They could lose this tier 2 tower. They have no glyph, they've got a siege creep, and they've got a farmed as hell TA and Kunkka, who has a BKB.
This is such an awesome move from UDV. There's the combo out. It's an easy kill. And now the 2-2 tower. They're going to look to defend it. UDV, they have to be cautious how long you stick around. But JG protected with the BKB. An instant TP along with Ken. Dude, that's such an awesome movement. You know the Snapfire and the Mars, they do not want to be showing. That's your team fight. You want no information of these two heroes, so it's not obvious if they're either behind UDV with that siege or if they're making a play across the map. So really nice read and plays from UDV.
Zero and Wami, they're looking to make a play here, but smoke pops. Lucifer gets all of that information that they need. They were maybe considering that they might be looking to go into Roshan just because they've got a great lineup for it. Of course, with the Veld, with the Flightstone, with the Snapfire. Plenty of ways for UDV to look to take that, but no, they were just looking to be a bit more passive, play around a lot of their big cooldowns. They didn't have the arena, they didn't have the boat at the time, no Mortimer's Kisses. And it feels like they just want to wait for at least this Desolator to come out for Ken, and then they're happy to go beyond there. And this is really the UDV that I was expecting to see from
top lane. They've run into Rapido. He's got JG nearby. He's going to try and drop the boat, but my lord. It is showing that the Magic Burst pre-BKB is still something that they have to fear.
It is, but he's only the recipe component away, right? And it's not like you're going to lose Roshan on Army Geniuses, so it feels like UDV can just play this one a tiny bit slower if they want to. Just as readily you're able to... I suppose they didn't use any big cooldowns to be able to get that kill, so want to be a little bit cautious. But with that Desolator now on the TA, it just means that she's so much more capable of farming incredibly quickly and doing the damage.
JG in some trouble, needs T here to step in. Banishment saves, now gives him the window to pop the BKB if need be. Azura still has plenty left to reset out of the fight and is going to do just that. So Army Geniuses unable to get something out of this, but they are continuing to make space for DB with this Battle Fury now.
They go for a 4-man smoke behind Ken. It's back to the rest of his team, and they're going to be able to find Boat. Comes off cooldown now for JG, and he's going to be the one leading the way.
Rapido, this could be perfect. They're in a close proximity. Rapido trying to find his angle, but it doesn't even matter. Now he's into the western side. Variz is the only person controlled in the arena, but look at Wami's damage from the outskirts. Finds at least some way to rectify the fight. I don't know if Army Genius can still take this though. DB doesn't have the items to man-fight UDV. They're gonna poke and prod, do whatever they can. It will be a 2-for-1 in the end.
I'd say they could rush. Again, they used a lot of cooldowns, so maybe not wanting to, but I feel like they could still look to Roshan pretty easily. Right? Like as long as you've got vision, the burst damage isn't really a factor. They've had to use a lot of smokes in recent times on Army Geniuses, so they should be able to the drop PV if they were looking to go for some kind of wraparound play. But you can just see Army Geniuses seem to think that they're potentially looking to go into this Roshan, but they're going to be walking up underneath the ward, and Tiny, he's the one that you want to try and catch out.
Oh no, Lucifer. Under the cover of the Glimmer, they do have detection. But UDV, they get the banishment. They won't even kill the Snapfire. As UDV, the cavalry has arrived. And Wami gets blown up under the pressure of the magic damage. And now Roche, well, that is on the agenda.
Now they can do the Roshan. I feel like Wami's been playing a lot of these team fights incredibly well. Just so much damage that he's able to output. Even that one, to be able to get onto the Shadow Demon, he ended up doing 1,700 of the damage towards the team fight, but it's just not enough. You know, this is a position 3 Pugna. He's playing it very well, but playing a lone hand at this stage.
Yeah, that attempt they made to try and kill the Snapfire up top, that was underneath the cliff ward, so UDV, they had so much time to be able to react, and that's why they could get in the area and set themselves up. But now they've got Aegis, so these towers should soon fall.
Yeah, I think you might probably just want to wait until that BKB is available for Rapidos, just so he can go in onto the front lines. TA be the third one to look to pick it up, and yeah, seems like the perfect way to go about it if I was them. Take the tier 1 tower top now that the glyph has been refreshed.
It's a game of cat and mouse for Army Geniuses. 10,000 deficit, just looking to continue to get these items for DB. He does have the second component now completed for the BKB though.
You do get a bit of relief though in being able to farm the enemy triangle. It's exactly where he should be right now, because this bottom side of the map, there's nothing for UDV to look to take, right? All of the objectives are on the top side. You want to look to try and take that away from them, and they want to play aggressive with this Aegis. So DB, he's just going to be constantly moving back and forth between what were the unsafe areas on the map and get up that BKB.
Don't know if DB's game's gonna get much easier though, especially if Teehee goes into the Agnums. He's 1, 1, and 3. He's got the Philosopher's Stone, so he will be able to find a pretty big item here. And I think if it is the Agnums, then it's very difficult for the Phantom Assassin to take these fights if the Shadow Demon's alive.
BKB's available. And a DD rune as well. I mean, you're talking about the Aghanim Scepter. I honestly think this game is going to be done before the Aghanim Scepter's even close to being finished up. I feel like UDV are really in the driver's seat right now to look to try and end this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ken's even got a double damage rune for good measure as well. So tier 2 tower soon to be under siege. They've got plenty of time to be able to utilize his first Aegis. They are just continuing to form this chokehold onto the map, but it's the network lead's not continuing to grow. Like, Radiant have done a very good job at getting out of the map and at least finding something.
I guess, but I mean, they've still got that mid tower to play around. You've taken away a lot of the vision available. There's no glyph remaining. You've still got the Aegis. You've got triple BKBs. So I don't think the net worth lead is really what you care about right now. It's just how many objectives can you look to claim and look to strangle DB even further? Because he is still someone that needs to farm, right? Maybe you look to try and put up an observer ward like they just have on Teehee inside your own triangle so that you can see when these small camps are starting to be taken away and then make a rotation back. But having the BKB might enable him to, if he's really quick on the fingers, to BKB TP away, but it does still feel like they're playing for time on Army Genius's side. Got to be really stealthy about how they take a lot of these engagements. Another one of the plus sides, though, is that I believe you've got the Aghanim Scepter completed for Azura, but needing to send the courier again out to the side of the map where UDV don't want to be. Oh no, you don't want your courier to die though.
With the vision once again, Rapido jumps to the backline. Arena only controlling while made great reactions with the blink, but one hero is going to be killed off. Meanwhile, across the map, JG's hunting DB down, but he will not be able to catch up.
BKB. Yeah, get out.
Oh, once again, Rapido! Oh no! The vision game, but Azura's not dead just yet. Now the turnaround, all of a sudden, UDV, they've run straight into the trap. They're going to be able to stand their ground off the back of the banishment. DB has to get out. He's able to do just that, but Ken, still protected with the Aegis, going to try and force stuff forward. They can't even kill the first alive. Ken, healthy enough. Oh my.
Was feeling it, like he was like, all right, I got 40 seconds left on this Aegis, doesn't really matter if I die. Didn't panic, use the BKB. It's actually quite a big deal that Teehee, he was standing right next to where this courier was flying over him when that previous team fight broke out, and they've got the point booster, been able to come across the entire map. So now with that level 15 on Azura, got the extra resonant pulse damage, he's got the silence as well. He really wants to make sure that he's targeting Teehee in every single one of these engagements.
I think it's, if you kill Teehee and you kill Lucify as well, it's a lot that UDV need through the fight. It's just the control, the team fight burst. That's definitely the name of the game for Army Genius. Just get rid of the supports and go from there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Absolutely. Now this is something that Ken previously, he had to be very
Mid
not
lane?
selective.
Is that yours? Oh, okay.
Top tower has fallen.
Very close to the timer of ticking out on the X.
He previously had to want to pop the BKB quite aggressively on Ken. They found here.
And I don't know what the Tiny's doing here. Looking to just try and
Stalling.
get rid of the creep wave and yeah, make space.
Still up against the level 20 TA, right? And now she's got that meld dispel, so not worried about offensive decrepifies. You don't need to waste the BKB for it. The silence, of course, as well. T-Heat is the exact target they want.
They're gonna run into DB as well, so we're killing to T-Heat, but this does push them away from the map, so yeah, Rory's very nicely done. It's gonna force out the BKB though on DB to make it out.
What do you reckon about this win probability? It says 18%. And honestly, it's a 12k lead, right? It's a lot to have to contend into. The 5 Aries have to be
What
careful.
the heck? Okay, he's actually gonna jump in. Sombite it up, Azura straight into the middle of the fight. Spear's gonna be off the mark, and DB now with the fan and knives. Looking to stand his ground, but he doesn't
Has no
have the
BKB.
BKB, so they can focus the PA. A Phantom strike to the right side, and now Wami is in trouble. Has no way to escape, no mobility in the toolkit, so it'll be UDV. They're really weak though. Narman's gonna look to jump over. The combination is out. They find a kill onto JG. Now DB as well. He's in the Frananized percent damage. It's something they need to respect. Ken though,
He's here.
he doesn't have the BKB. Refraction up in a couple of seconds. They can force out, but DB's still on the prowl. Azura's got an ultimate charge up shortly as well with double resonant pulse, but he just needs the vision. He needs the information, but he's gonna guess the wrong direction as it looks like UDV will just scurry away.
Using that aggressive blink to try and follow up on it, but unable to catch, and they've got complete understanding because this ward placed down as well. So Ken even got an MKB as well. So previously was a little bit worried about how to deal with this PA. Now, not so much.
Is that... Are these signs alive though for Farmy Geniuses? Like, have you been impressed with how they've been playing these past couple of
Dire's
fights?
middle tower is under attack.
The net worth is still growing for UDV, but it's growing at a much slower rate, right? And every single time that DB is able to just get another small component towards a successful team fight and being 6-slotted is going to be a huge deal for
Wami,
us.
he steps into the
that's-
river as well,
that's a
but
dieback.
Azura's going to be nearby. DB flies into the arena. They want to take the fight, but with Ken's big item progression, he can beat onto DB. He's going to attempt to TP out the miss one. He made it, and now Narman's in with a huge combo. So they still get the kill in the end, but now Ken's going to continue to chase Narman, playing by the Ancients. But it looks like Narman, there should be an easy chase down UDV. They've got 3 heroes to continue stalking out their prey, and in the end, it's godlike on Ken.
Just caught the PA at the very end of it. It was like literally the last millisecond that they needed to be able to take him out, and he waited quite some time to TP, have his BKB on when he was trying to finish that one up, and well, it's up costing him. It was a small attempt to try and come back into this lane, but it feels like this high ground ward is just doing them in time after time after time. You know, they previously went for the gank attempt there, and they got caught out. They went for another one right now around this Roshan timing. Caught out again, and it's a pretty obvious one. You know, it's where UDV feel safest right now. They've got plenty of towers to TP to. They've got the outpost. It's a bit odd for AG that they're letting this one slip by with some of their pathing.
I think that's just... We've had this map for such a long time where people start to get really creative. We've seen a lot of the lane wards, but you're just back to the basics, back to the cliff wards that give you so much information. And Army Geniuses, they haven't been de-warding these areas. And like you said, we've seen it really pay dividends, and a big reason why UDV are in this position.
Dire's bottom tower
course it is.
is under attack.
Did just see UDV smoke under a ward, but DB... It's like that vision might not matter, though the spidey senses are tingling, so DB's just gonna get out of dodge.
I'm not sure how good Manta Style is going to be for for DB this game. Does feel like he's getting the dodge out too much. The demonic purge consistently used onto him.
High ground, UDV, go. Narman's looking for the toss back. Okay. He's got BKB, but would hate to use it on the first life. You need to get the kill. A banishment the last second, but he's still on a slither of health and they don't get him. Oh my. Okay, so Radiant didn't commit heavily with that. I think only Soulbind was the big one.
I gotta say, Naba's been playing pretty damn well.
Yep.
You know, this 4 Tiny constantly getting these catches. This 4 and Avalanche pretty consistently is. Don't think they want to go on to Ken. They want to try and find someone else. They know he's positioning as of right now. That courier doesn't give them away, but it's getting pinged out. They know exactly where they are, and Teehee's looking to set up to be able to counter this smoke.
They've got horrible vision right now. Although they're looking at jump repeater, he did use BKB prior. Silence up at the banishment once again, giving him some breathing room, moving to the triangle as DB's in trouble. He's gonna try and bring down Teehee, focusing by the secret shot, but DB, he's got no extra assistance. He gets the kill, brought back though, straight into the location of where Ken is, and look at the Templar Assassin go from one target to the next, and Ultra looking for a rampage as Narman. Blink's still on cooldown. They're able to cancel out his only escape avenue, or will they? Blink, TP.
Oh,
They've got a
Narman.
ward. No, but Ken? He blinked the wrong way. What was that? Oh,
You
I
have
don't know
vision,
what-
my man. What's going on?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Are fortified.
Still though, Narman just he's styling on him a little bit, but it's just a lot of these small
Top
mistakes,
lane,
right?
Narman just stopped JG's TP. He tried to X-TP
Okay.
back, and no BKB is
a
going
gem
to be
as well.
penalized. We'll get the gem. Okay. Narman's in again. Looking for the toss. Straight up on the Kree wave. You need to put Ken in a compromised position. They haven't been able to do that with the toss, but UDV, their formation completely broken as Lucifer just playing with the Glimmer. Well, I may as well get a D-ward before he's killed off. The Army Geniuses, they do get some gold into the banks of Radiant, but it's still that big previous fight by the Roche Pit not going their way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And JG didn't even have a streak, and he gave up 720 gold to Asura when he died. So that's just how far ahead they feel right now on UDV. But every single one of these little wins, yeah, you had to use the buyback for it, but got the gem, and now maybe you'll look to start to reclaim some of that map control. Asura walking around underneath the ward right now, and to me, the big difference this game is just a lot of these little mistakes, right? Taking a lot of those fights underneath the dire vision when you didn't need to.
Ooh, Ken's just almost one hit for ease. But they've been able to kill off the first life with ease to the northern side. Narman's controlled in the arena, but it doesn't matter. All their attention, it's away from the Templar Assassin as DB and co get a gigantic kill. And now DB's also eyeing up Teehee. He's only got Repeater nearby, maybe a speed to hold them back, but it won't do anything as Army Geniuses. How are they doing this?
It's Narman, man. He's just giving up his life, basically saying, hit me. Get all of your attention onto me, as long as it gives the rest of my team the freedom to just 100-0 you. You know, Void Spirit's one of those heroes that's great at being able to follow up an Aegis, because you've got that Aether Remnant, you're not able to get off the BKB on your second life, and yeah, very quickly they were able to take down that TA as long as she didn't have that magic immunity.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, he's even got the cobble up. This is looking like being a really fun game. This is the SEA Dota that we've come to love.
Dire's structures are
Makes it out, maybe. Wami hunting the Snapfire in the tree line, but he will not be able to run into him, so Army Geniuses tier 1 into tier 2. They won't need to pop the double damage rune, so DB will have this for the next fight.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
All right, Aries, guess time. What's the win prop?
I reckon like 43 for Army Geniuses?
33. It's still saying, all right, it's a 12k net worth lead, but getting a little bit scarier.
Wow. Just the fact that Army Geniuses are in a position where they can actually continue to play this game, because I just thought it was going to be a pretty slow closeout for UDV.
some of those times that they've been looking to go up onto the high ground, it feels like they didn't fully take advantage of that triple BKB timing. You know, they were playing a little bit too apart. You got some pickoffs onto you. It made you didn't feel confident going high ground because you didn't have the full lineup, and every single minute is just time that DB on his PA has had to be able to farm. He's nearly level 25. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a pretty big deal at being able to snipe those backlines.
They're going to look to smoke, and they will run straight into Naaman. But the Tiny's not the easiest kill, and DB wants to utilize the last remaining duration of the double damage rune. They've also been able to kill off T here, and this is all Army Genius's fight as UDV is scrambling out of dodge. But Lucifer will not be fortunate enough to make it away, as Army Geniuses have 0 casualties.
And Army Geniuses, this game means nothing to you. UDV are playing for their lives, and you're just saying, you know what? Doesn't matter that what was the biggest win probability? 10% they were at about 5 or so minutes ago. They're looking to turn this one around and be the first ones to take a lane of Rax. Just look at Naaman as well.
Yeah,
He's
look,
following
this is
around
huge.
JG.
Oh!
How did that not hit?
What? Oh. They're in. They want to force buybacks. But Instant Halberd's going to prevent the Templar Assassin from doing any damage. That's a beautiful spear, but where's the damage for? It's coming fast. Ken kills off DB, and now all of a sudden, Army Geniuses, can they go back in? Azura's thinking about this. They know that BKB's on cooldown. Teehee to the rescue, though. To banish at the last second. Ken's able to blink out to the safety. JG eats the 8th remnant. Azura mega kill streak. They're off the mark with the spear. Rapido still protected with the BKB. He's going to be okay. And they're looking to rejoin as well. Templar Assassin killed back up to a decent mark, but Army Geniuses, they will not stick around.
And this game is back to dead even. And also level 25 picked up by that PA. Ends up dying, but that extra chance for the coup de grace, they really just want to make sure that they're picking off these high priority heroes, notably the Shadow Demon and the Snapfire.
So for UDV, we have a Hex now completed on JG. There's even a Hex queued up as okay. Well, Mars had a Hex queued up before the Nullifier. What do you feel like this is able to provide the lineup of die, this item?
The Sheepstick or the Nullifier?
The Sheepsticks, because they had also Rapido had one queued up. So it's like obviously they're feeling like they're lacking something.
I think they just need to make sure that they're able to get their own crowd control off without the fear of a BKB just disrupting it entirely. You know, we've seen how effective it can be if you're able to get a good arena off. Rapido with a great spear again, and just imagine someone's a pig instead of just walking around. It just guarantees that you're going to hit that deadly spear back into a tower or back into a disadvantageous spot.
Mommy's very split from the team.
Around
the secret shop to the northern side, though, they've been able to run into Teehee. A big target if they can bring him down, and they will do so. And now UDV once again in shambles. They don't have the numbers advantage. They don't have JG. But they've been able to catch up the Templar Assassin. He tried to TP up, but not under the cover of the BKB. It's an easy surround as Army Geniuses. The tips come out before Ken even dies. Wicked sick on Azura.
Use the BKB to TP out, realizing how important it was. Maybe if they had used that, they would have felt like they could just immediately look to go into this Roshan. About 10 seconds until it's available again, of course. And it's scary for UDV. Army Geniuses, they're showing a lot of maturity that they didn't used to have. You know, the laning stage can go quite poorly for you, but if you look to play smart, play around your vision, play around these key timings, it can still work out for you. Oh. Roshan available.
There's a Scepter as well. Oh my lord. That's huge for DB.
You just want to go from kill to kill to kill to kill to kill.
Oh my. You were bringing up earlier, like this, we might not have a game where maybe Shadow Demon needs his Aghanim Scepter. Of course, he's gone for completely other items, but is Teehee now thinking about going this item just to help deal with PA late game?
I think he has to. You know, I was really feeling that they could look to close it out at like the 25-minute mark or so, but yeah, just a few times that they were split up too far on UDV, and that it was never the real luxury. Naaman, of course, continuing to play a very good lane, just taking attention away from the real area that they're looking to play around, which is the top side.
Now it's very difficult for Ken to do any damage. You're going up against the Halberd on Wommy that he's had for quite some time, which I'm a big fan of that item build for Wommy. I think that the Halberd has been exceptional. And now you have an E-Blade as well on the Void Spirit, which you can use it aggressively if you want on the TA just to force like a very early BKB.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, he's got the meld, at least, right, to be able to dispel it, which is nice.
Very
but
true, actually, yeah.
the last few fights have just gone so overwhelmingly good for Army Geniuses that he probably just pops the BKB, right? Because they're playing scared right now. They had a... What was the net worth lead? I feel like it was about 17,000, 18,000, and now it's back to 5.
18,000 at the highest. 88% probability as well at that stage, but it's Army Geniuses standing their ground under the vision. Smoke's gonna pop and instantly DB's in. A Banishment's gonna buy a little bit of breathing room, so Rapido drops the combo. It's an okay arena. They're going to try and play around with the second one. Refresh just pop, but he doesn't have an opportunity to use it as DB doing so much damage, but he doesn't escape from the arena. So they're just going to look to stand their ground, swarming inside the vicinity. Is DB? Screw it. Why not jump the high ground? Catch up the stragglers, but UDV, they can look to set up for round 2. And BKB's already been used, so Ken just swarming in with the damage. DB protected, but an X straight back in the Lion's Den. DB needs to play around with the Phantom Strike. He needs some assist, and that's where Azura comes in. Wommy with the medic as well. DB's not dead. He's not dead. To the northern side, heroes are crumbling. Now they're on Ken. Buybacks are lacking. Heroes are gone, and Army Geniuses. How have they come back? They're in prime position to now take this game 1.
Oh my god, they're just going into the meat grinder one by one by one. He got so low on him there, but just the amount of assistance that he has. Naaman to make space with a lot of the stuns. You have the heal coming through from Wommy's Pugna. You've got the consistent use of the Inkswell onto the Phantom Assassin, and he's diving in. He's in top of 5. He used that BKB super early on, but they still weren't able to take him down. Oh my god, it's an 18k lead now for Army Geniuses. No buyback on Shadow Demon, no buyback on the Mars. You used it on the Snapfire as well, so they just look at... They have no buybacks on anyone except the TA.
They've been tossing DV under T4 towers. The jump, forcing out an early BKB, but look at just... They don't want to heavily commit until Naaman gets a toss. Repositioning Ken, but they're just going to look to avoid the Templar Assassin. Abyssal, Halberd, Ken can't do anything. There's nothing the TA can do. Another Halberd's out. This is buying so much space for Army Geniuses just to deal with everyone but the TA, and now they can kill him off afterwards. As Army Geniuses take game 1 off the back of an exceptional comeback.
Oh... You got nothing to play for. Why you gotta do it to them? I mean, MVP for mine. I'll give it to 2. It's gotta be Wommy and it's gotta be Naaman. They just did an exceptional amount of work. Even just in these last few fights, just the perfect use of the Decrepify. Exactly when you're looking to try and get a bit more aggressive on the TA. And Naaman, he just made an incredible amount of space, giving his life up multiple times just to make sure that the attention wasn't on the real heroes that were actually doing the work. Wow. I wasn't expecting that after the early game, that's for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. And now this puts UDV, they've just lost so much momentum. Of course, like you said, it's everything on the line for UDV, not as much for Army Geniuses. UDV, they're fighting for their Division 2 slot for 2 or 3, and well, they need to now try and stem the momentum that Army Geniuses have been able to build up, because what a game for them to come back from an 18,000 deficit. But in the end, they will be able to take out game 1. What an exceptional performance from them. We're going to send it over break, and when we come back, the panel will break this game 1 down.